بلادي 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 لك حبي وفؤادي. بلادي 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 لك حبي وفؤادي. مصر يا أم البلاد أنت غايتي والمراد، وعلى كل العباد كمل نيلك من أيادي. بلادي 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 لك حبي وفؤادي. بلادي 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 لك حبي وفؤادي. مصر
منبت الأحرار مشرق الأنوار منتدى السؤدد وحماه دمت منتدى وحماه عشت في الأوطان للعلا عنوان ملء كل جنان ذكرى كل لسان في الروح بالجسد هب فتاك لب نداك في فمي ولدمها وكتر نور ونار. إخوتي هيا للعلا سعيا نشهد الدنيا أنه لا نحيا بشعب الله الوطن الملك.
يابا حياكم الله حبايب ومنورين وهلا ومية هلا ومسهلا وش اخباركم؟
have a good time. So I'm not sure if Chewy is
إن شاء
trying to
الله
get safe
بخير،
or
إن شاء الله أموركم طيبة.
if he's trying to get rest here, but that res might really open the door for Old Boy
لايكاتكم
and that'll
حبايب.
bring it down to 3.
هاي بطولة العالم
Shaco's
منتخبات
trying to go
بها
for it.
الجزائر
I
ومصر
don't think Shaco has any
والمغرب.
idea about this one. The smoke comes out. That might just give him some chance. Oh,
Ooh.
no, I thought he was just behind. I thought, oh my god, I thought he was safe behind that. That would have been insane. But no.
تايتن عندهم اولد بوي هافليك
And
وتوليكا.
Old Boy's gonna grab that frag and
تشكيلة
finish the
حلوة
second
والله
as well. The first
تخبط.
one already played out. Shaco's not finished just yet. Old Boy's like, what the hell is happening? But now he's gonna get the flash.
عادي
And
توني
there
قاعد
we go.
نوم زين.
That's the second trade actually coming out.
انا
against
شغلت
Brunei,
ثلاث
so that
اناشيد
after that
عربية
initial
لانه
knock
ثلاث فرق عربية
and
موجودة.
flush coming in from Brunei. It's just going
حبيبي
downhill,
ياسر
which is-
منور.
Yeah, which is
يقطع ليش من
surprising to
يمك
some
يا اخي
degree,
مو
because I
من
felt like
يمك.
they had a pretty good split actually to make something happen against Old Boy, but his position just wasn't known.
We talked about experience, right? We talked about how much it matters and what Ukraine has been able to do is slow it down so much
مصر
that the other team makes a play, makes a mistake, gets caught out
محمد
onto it,
وكورونا
and
وديشو.
as soon as they catch one single player, that leads to the second knock. And
صوروا
that leads to them
الجيم
getting
قرغستان
manpower. We've had a glimpse of them
فازوا.
up there, Felix.
Yes.
And I can see you want to talk about it.
رؤوف بيلعب
because
لا
that is
ما
an
قدر
S2G
يسافر
zone
ما
if I've
حصل
ever seen
فيزا.
one. Great split. I think they were just around Quarry actually. Yeah, that's what they are opting to split at. And S2G in that scenario, with that zone, with that kind of positioning inside the circle, they will surely go for a massive split with lots of information. I can see that being kind of the fuel to bring
يا
them
حبيبي
further in
على
this
راسي
round,
انت
potentially
وليبي.
going to the very late game with
هلا
lots and
حمودي
lots
أحمد
of
حيدر
elimination.
منور.
But, you know, one zone at a time. But just judging by
إخواننا
the kind of build-up they
أكيد.
have, great positioning coming out from STG. Another player going down from Brunei, but there is one trade, and that's Old Boy.
So we are in a 3v1, but Old Boy is on his knees. He's been knocked down, he's been naded out, and PSL can now choose, well, does he want to try and play for the flush, or does he just want to take his time? Because Ukraine, sure, they have the numbers, but they've got to cross that road, and he wants to catch them when they do so. They know well enough that he's going to be attempting that. They know well enough that that's his game plan, but Treadley is going to try and build as much distance as he can. Strong connection with the AK, but that's looking like a possible cross. Oh my, that is barren, that is open. That's an AK, not the perfect weaponry for the job.
it's tough.
فالكون
But he's still
الافريقي
done
هذا مو
damage. And
فالكون
look at the
اسيا.
meds on Tresley. There's nothing there. He's going to try to pop out the smokes, get close to Old Boy, try and do anything about this. Havlik trying to do his job as well, trying to do his part. They're struggling
Brunei.
versus the solo of Brunei right now. He's being such a nuisance, such a
Hello,
problem
Jenna,
for
Masala.
Ukraine. Now the flash is about to come through. And just like that, Ukraine will have to either risk a whole lot of their team.
I don't think he finds him. I don't think he finds him. There's an option. There is the option
He doesn't know.
for Old Boy to still get rest if they have to run upstairs. How is he waiting this one out? Why are they not pushing this? They need to save Old Boy. There's no way with a shotgun he should take this much time. But I think at this point it's too late. No, I think they just lost Old Boy. Whether or not he's going to win this, he's going to lose that 1v1 as well. Pia, oh my goodness, this is falling apart for Ukraine at this point. It's only half league left, but that should not have happened under any circumstances.
Beautifully played by PSL. And
أخذنهم والله عذبهم حرام.
hard for Ukraine to group there, hard to make anything work. Beautiful term is mutually assured destruction, and this is a pretty good example. No matter what happens here, either team will have lost 3 of their members, no matter who wins it out, and neither of the teams should be able to get a whole lot of points out of this game. That's why you don't want the hot drops, and that's why you can, well, maybe lose the 1v1 at the end, like Havlik is probably about to do.
Oh!
Nice, Havlik.
Okay!
Never mind.
Okay.
All right, I'll take it back.
Take it back. Take it
All
back.
right, shut me up, Havlik, will ya?
That is nasty. That is absolutely nasty. Havlik. What a shot. What a shot. What a shot.
What
Turns it
a
around, even
shot.
though he didn't, almost had no bullets left. He was prone down as well. And yeah, so he's going to win a hot job. Is it a good hot job though?
No.
I guess it is.
Definitely.
A Pyrrhic victory is the correct term, I believe. They're losing even though they're the winners of that hot drop. Zone has shifted right towards the quarry. They're giving us a small replay of the frags PSR was able to acquire. And then in the end, well, not even the observers expected him to lose that one.
No, I can't
Crazy
believe
stuff. But, you know,
ما ادري والله ما متابع افريقيا بس اول يوم
not a game where
وما
you
اعرف
push yourself
باللي قاعد
up the
يصير بافريقيا
scoreboard,
والله
but
معجز
we're going to have plenty
هذا
of teams
الإجازة أنا مع
with
نفسي.
less than that. Colombia playing around the very pure area. We have Egypt in the bunkers to the north. We already talked plenty about Turkey and the position
شفت
they've
بس
been able
اول
to
يوم بي ام
acquire
بي
there. But
وراها
again,
ولا يوم
tons of teams
وهاي
finding their way
شخصية
into the
تونسية.
circle, while the two hot drop teams, they haven't even seen it. They have not the purest idea
أيوة
of what's
حسوني.
going on inside this zone, and that's why you hate to be hot dropping as well.
لا ما موجود الصين ما موجودين.
Still a good position for
Turkey
Colombia because
is
they opted for that northern side.
Colombia.
Of, this whole compound kind of area towards the shoreline. Yeah, and you can see there's another team south of Arabia, but I feel like Kyrgyzstan has definitely got less of control, like easily less control than what Colombia has. So
هذا
I think
الشهر
that
كلش
position a
ممل.
little bit
ليش؟
stronger. Depending though
الدوري السعودي
on what I usually try to do with that split what Colombia is playing is split it with the position from Egypt, but somehow they were too late for that because even though Egypt broke it in late, they somehow still got a position. I feel like if they would have split that with the position that Egypt has right now, that would have been absolutely massive. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't.
تستاهلين
But then again, that
كلارا.
is a greedy split. Either way, Egypt in a good position, Colombia in a really good position.
رؤوف ما طلع
Kyrgyzstan
تلفزيون.
for now, at least in a position where
اي
nothing
والله
can
انا
really
مشتاق
happen.
سنوسي.
At least for the
اخوان
next
لايكاتكم
zone,
احنا
I don't think it's
150
gonna
على
be that
البث ما
far off.
عندنا لايكات.
And yeah, I'm kind of interested now looking at Turkey. Where is Turkey?
Should be off to that northwestern side, but one thing you can't help but noticing about this zone as well, these guys are dead center, right? Kyrgyzstan is in the dead center, so is Colombia, so is Morocco, who's just arriving, instantly losing Lazy Boy. And there is a mini ringing out, something you're not used to seeing all that much. As Argentina and Serbia have found themselves on the other side of the map. But I say they're in the center of the circle now. They're surrounded by a whole lot of water. And the circle has tons of potential for hardships, both to the north and to the west. And Felix, I found Turkey.
I did see them as well, back in the distance.
Two minis.
Very surprised they didn't opt for a more
عليكم السلام سيود.
phase 2 shift because they were up on that hillside east of Quarry, which is incredibly strong for information play. So I feel like they would have had prior on lots of these positions that we can see being played right now in the deep center, but yeah, maybe they just didn't want to do that anyway. So I feel
سجل
like
المالك
with them,
الحبيب.
we've spoken to these players as well.
هذا
Just
فريق
before
قوي
the
والله.
first game
نواة
started,
الزريخ
and
وإفريق
they are just not worried. I feel like they were in this mindset of you can play whatever you
Hello,
want,
Salman.
play whatever play style you want, as long as you win the fights on the edges, and as long as
يا حبيبي يا العاني.
as you still are in favorable positions. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here right now. Either
هم
way,
يريدون يعني
first
يعيشون
shots are coming
هاي
out
الأجواء.
towards Markset from Serbia as
بس
Philippines are pushing
Oh,
through
he's so
this.
caught out. He's so alone, Felix. He's so surrounded. Utah's coming in. Beautiful nade.
Good nade, yeah.
He even got the DBS out. It won't matter. Serbia is bleeding members right now. One left standing for them. We talked about how they were one of the better teams. Well, they've completely been bamboozled here by the Philippines. Rez has come through.
Oh my
And it's looking like that phase 3, Felix.
كلهم معروفين
I said
لاعبين.
there's lots of potential for a
أغلبيتهم.
hardship. I'm looking at the minimap. That might have just gone to Mini Island.
I gotta say right now, the one team that surprised me the most so far is Philippines. The way they fight, the way they aggress on towards edges, the way their team play structure as well. They're always very stacked together. They always have their backs. They're always very, you can see plays like this. They're all very proactive. They are surprising the most right now. I'm not having them on my favorite sheet, but the way they play right now, I should definitely write them down. So far, they are playing incredibly well.
Aggressive, decisive, quick
والله
on
مو
it,
كلش
not
استمتع
messing around,
بيها
not
اللي
waiting
في
around.
البطولة فاهمني؟
And they're definitely catching a few
حقيقة
teams off
كلش
guard.
استمتع
Neither of
بيها.
these two in the zone. The circle has not gone on the
بل
Millie Island, but
كنت
it's gone pretty far south considering where it was.
بالمراحل اللي يكون
And that
بيها
very
شدة
deep position
التأهل.
is going to be a nice one to be holding out, as we've talked
مدير
about.
كبير،
plenty
أنت منور.
Kyrgyzstan and Colombia occupying that earlier. Now, solo
منور.
close range in Koa, absolute massive force on the Serbian team.
شو عدلت القعدة.
Back. They are trying to make this work. They are trying to hold on and maybe find some entries
من
back
الدوري السعودي
towards the
شوكي
Philippines.
ما
But
أدري
it looks
بس
like they
يمكن
are
شر
just
يجي.
aborting mission. They're leaving, and they're leaving Marcello
لا، هاي
back here
منتخباتي.
with the M4 to hold their retreat. Where they go and where they want to hold Serbia from, well, it's either the yellows or it's the rocks. But either of the two options should work just fine. That's a buggy with 2 players on it for Serbia. That's not going to be a great rotation.
No, it's gonna be, might just be the last rotation. Okay, they will stop just in front of that rock. That might just give them the opportunity to have at least.
أنا قاعد
at least
أتخيل
1
حالتي.
second until the zone closes to make
أستاذ
something
عبد
happen
الله
against the Philippines below
دخل
them.
وأنا قاعدين.
But as the
شفت
Philippines have made themselves at
قبل
home on their coastline, I don't see a way to rotate in further because they have 4 players up.
لا
And it's
إله
only
إلا
a buggy
الله.
with 2 players. They should
نور
not make it
نور
inside
نور.
any further.
الحمد لله على السلامة وسهرة
Romania,
سعيدة.
look at them, they're still on the southern side together with
عليكم السلام على
Kazakhstan.
حمودي.
And
ولا ليش مو
Obviously,
مشاركين جماعتنا متى اهلوا لين لعبوا
Kazakhstan
ومتى اهلوا
and who was on the northern side? I just didn't get a glimpse of it.
يا حبيبي
Either way, 2 more teams. I'm not sure how
يا
they will
حبيبي
make
اللهم
this work
لك
as well.
الحمد.
The zone is still relatively far to the south, so swimming is an option that will definitely make it in time.
رومات لا بالعكس
We
بطولة
talked about
مهمة
Serbia maybe not being
جدا.
able to make another rotation, but they have found
لا.
2 of these kills. They have taken out 2 of the Philippines as they approach the lighthouse. So, well, they got their revenge in some sense, and they are fairly close to
رؤوف
the
اللي
circle.
كان
Really, they
رؤوف
can catch a few
رؤوف
swimmers.
كان
That's not
بتركيا يلعب
looking good
بي
for
ام
Romania. They were the first ones to swim, but they didn't
فما
realize
قدر
there was another
يسوي
team
يعني
there. We
ما
talked
قدر
plenty
يسوي
about
الفيزا
Kazakhstan
من
and Georgia
تركيا
on both of these
قالوا له ما
sides.
عندك موعد
Now they
لان
are
هو
going to be punished.
سائح
Redox,
تركيا مو
his
مقيم
prospects not
كان لازم
looking all
يكون
that
اما
great.
بالجزائر او
Kampala, he's gonna have to go
بالامارات
for a dive.
حتى
They're going to be
يقدر
running out of
يسوي
oxygen. This is not
الفيزا
going to be
للجزائر.
easy. No matter where they go
فسووا له
here. I
ريبليس
think
توقع جودي
Kazakhstan is doing the same thing. They're swimming alongside them with just one player covering. So whoever
يا
gets to
بطولة
ferry
العالم
first
يا كرر
could be a whole lot of damage
نكسوس
to
هم
the
اللي
other team.
يمثلون
That's so smart though, leaving puncher behind to
اللي
potentially put some
يمثلون
more pressure on
رومانيا
teams.
وهذا واحد من
That's the
الاسباب
team
اللي
from
ما
the
خلى
southern
دورين
side.
يطلع من
I
الفريق.
really enjoyed that. That's just a very small kind of details
لا
that
لا
make
ما
a
في
difference in competitive play.
ما
So,
في كان المفروض
yeah,
فلسطين
we've expected that to
هم
happen
اللي
actually for
تأهلوا من
Romania because they were full
الميداليست
strong and they weren't. They were only having
يعني
3
صار
players out at
خوف
that point.
ومنعتهم انه
But yeah, either way, you
يتأهلون
can see it does make a difference.
سوري
SCG
يروحون
under a lot of
يسافرون
pressure as well.
سووا
So they
لهم
opted
تبديل
out for this
فلسطين
kind of straight to the middle
لعبوا
approach. They did find
لعبوا
themselves a
صربيا
shack. We can see
بمكانهم
Egypt was pressuring this so much and they really want to clear them out.
السعودية ما تأهلت لا السعودية لا العراق لا سوريا تأهلوا ولا الكويت بوقتها تأهلت من آسيا قرغستان وفلسطين قرغستان الأول فلسطين الثاني أو فلسطين الثاني فلسطين بعدها صارت
They just barely made it back into the compound though. They wanted
مصر
to clear out that
ناصر
shack. They
وديشة
wanted to put an
وتوكسين
end to what Turkey's been doing in here. But they weren't quite able to
يب،
close it out
فلسطين
just yet.
يب.
Not a position you want to be in if you're Razor Kalzi.
Oh, no.
You really, really hate to
ان
see
شاء الله
this.
بالجلوبال اي سبورتس فيدريشن يعني بالبطوله الثانيه اللي تصير بالسعوديه
ان
ان شاء الله ان شاء الله العراق السعوديه اول تالي راح يكون لاعبين يعني بلد مستضيف ان شاء الله يعني العراق نحاول يعني يكون عندنا
يكون
عندنا فريق جيد
يعني. So
يعني
there is a chance for Turkey to break into the placement points here and stay alive for a little while
سوريا
longer,
عندهم
but
فرصه شفت ذاك
it's still very early days here, Falcons.
They, I
ولا
kind
شفت
of
بطولة
think they have to hope
TMGC
for a
هذه
northern
السنة
shift.
سي ميثاق
A
وعليكم
massive
السلام
northern
قلبي
shift because I don't see them crossing the streets towards the south. I don't think there is any way. I say that, but if NASR goes down,
ما اعرف والله
it
شنو
looks like
صار
it's going to be finished
تحديدا
off. Oh, I think
لكن
they
هم
might just not
انسحبوا
find the angle. Oh my goodness, NASR is going to get revived.
زيد انت
So
لازم تصير قائد
if
منتخب
he would have been flushed out, maybe
العراق ناقص عنده اي جي ال حاليا موجود جعفر اتوقع يعني واحد من الاي جي ال الشباب الصغار اللي جايين جاي كبرون
Was that a nade from up top? Like, you kid? Oh, he was outside.
اس تي جي بعد بي ام جي
Actually
سي
tried
مش
to
اس
But
تي
yeah,
جي
what I wanted to say is, I think the only way up is
شايف
towards
فريق
the
من
northern
ياخذ
side.
بطولة
There needs to be a
وراها
northern
من
shift
فترة
for
فراغ
Turkey to make something happen.
Even then, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be hard. Lots of teams looking over their shoulders. They're
كازاخستان
going to have to find the
لا
right hits at the
لا
right
هنا
time.
الفرق
There is a
لاعبين
chance.
لاعبين باسمائهم تاجاتهم هسه البرودكشن هو اللي لازم يغير يعني المخرجين يقدر يغير الاسم شاشية يا فورتي ها شوف هاي الشاشية التونسية ها شوفوا هاي الشاشية التونسية جاب لي فورتي نص صوت المعلق
firmly in the middle. They don't want to
حبيبي
take
حودة
anyone off at
قلبي
this point. They probably want to stay
اي
safe.
فاقول لك
Razor
انه
puts a bit of
الفرق
damage towards the north.
لعبة بتاجاتها الطبيعية ما مغيرين
We said
أنا
no
معاوي
rotations
عليكم
for them.
السلام.
Well, they've proven us wrong. They're below the bridge right now.
كيمو
And they are
ايرون
back
وجودي وبيكو
next to their
هل
well, I don't
النجمة
want to
راح
say
يلعبوا
favorite neighbors
بالبطولة
because
في
they're
ام سي
both
تأهل اي نعم
each other. But they're right back next to the Philippines.
Absolutely.
علاء مين لاعب في
Talking
تيم
about Romania as
الجزائر
well, I was very
عليكم
surprised
السلام
to see
هلا
them make it across. The four-man puncher did get some
هم
good
اللي
shots
ليش
off,
ما
but it just wasn't
يخلون
enough
وحش
for
ما
enough.
افتهم
Even though Redox, I think it was Redox, who was like on absolutely 1 HP, but he did make it across as well. So Romania is going to be four-man strong. Southern side as well. You can see Kazakhstan. They will have
ليش
the
ما
input
يختارهم؟
towards where they are
اكو
playing from, but they
ارقام
are
ويقدرون
playing.
يختارون ليش ما كل
They are one
متاح
player down as well.
للمنتخب
Maybe even two. They are 2 player down. So the last one didn't even make it across. I think that's maybe
يا
where Goran has got
حبيبي
his kill point from. And we might have just
هلاك انتقالات في المينا هسه مسدود الانتقالات السنه الجايه الله يفتح صفقه
As we said, he's getting a flush as well. Because as we said, they do make
نورك
use of
ضياء
this cross,
قلبي.
and you could totally tell
No way.
Kazakhstan was waiting for this cross to happen. There's no
No
other
way.
way. But
لا
this defense
السادس
from Goran, this position is
امتحانات
amazing.
السادس ماكو
He even did 69 damage on that second nade. Almost.
هلا
Almost
ستار
takes on
فول
takeoff.
نور
And
الدنيا يا
now he
عم
knows as well.
مصر
He should have seen that player move out. Maybe not looking at the right time, but oh
they
my,
might just
that's
have
much
done
damage.
that.
Oh my god. They're absolutely on point right now, but look at the top as well. Look who's there, the winners of the last game. Peeking on over, Flyke already knows he wants to hunt. This is just not playable at all for taking off right now. But the next fight's already on the cards, and that is Romania versus Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan has got great positions up
حيهم
on
ملاوي
towards
حيكم مختلف
block side, but they still need to hit the shots, and depending on how much utility these teams still have, because the next
لا يلعب ليش ما
bunch of them.
كوا
It's still
77
going to be very, very tough. But you can see the edge doesn't really favor anyone. So, I mean, at this point, sure, they've got the high ground.
والله جيم حلو المصر.
Kyrgyzstan still needs to make the shots happen.
مصر مكان حلو.
But yeah, both of them full man lineups as well, so it's going to be difficult.
If you caught it there as well, there's not a whole lot of resources left.
هذول عالم أي بلد؟ أرمينيا.
He's not even healing up. He's looking for
هذول رومانيا هذولاك أرمينيا.
Octavian bandaging back up. Kyrgyzstan don't have the same problems. They're absolutely stacked. They've still got util. They've still got meds, armor, everything they need. So while we saw Serbia pushing on that wizard tower a little bit further east, this is not a fair fight for Romania right now at all. They're going to be happy that they got these kill points. They're going to be happy that they confirmed some of the points.
خليه لاعب يتحرر يطلع يجيب حاول يجيب كلات.
Take this fight up to the top.
هذا لعيب زرق.
شيله
شيله شيله.
Looking for it. He's found the legs.
Nice, nice.
Octavian, he's dancing, he's dipping, he's diving. But it's not enough in the end. He's down. That's maybe the start signal for Kyrgyzstan to try and pull a little bit further on that road.
كازاخستان بقوة لأنه خصوصا إن فالكون بأفضل مستوياتهم هسه مع بعض متصدر البي ام بي الأفريقيا رجعت لهم الطاقة رجع لهم الروح.
Just have to smoke their way in, especially as well. You could tell if they would have had 5 more
shots
at the very least. But yeah, just seeing this is just not going to happen. Redux and
رومانيا
with Kapahala being on the very eastern side of it, very close to the zone actually. I'm not sure how he snuck up there, but maybe if Colombia doesn't take a look towards their southern side, he might just make it in.
We've been looking at this fight, and it's a beautiful fight, and it's two very strong teams. But don't forget that Serbia is on 7.
تصور البث يكون أفضل يعني ككواليتي لأنه
clean. They've got their own entry into the circle with just 2 players alive.
هم يعني اللي يشتغلون بي ام بي
some of their roster, and oh boy is it showing off right now. Kyrgyzstan, Romania, they're going to tear each other to shreds. We might even see a reposition towards the north here for Kyrgyzstan because they don't want to aggress the same building Romania is already pushing into. But if you look at the minimap, there's really not a whole lot of space for them to go. This is going to be tricky on the north. This is going to be tricky on the southwest. But oh my, I don't know what Serbia did to that wizard tower, but it must have not been pretty.
مفروض بي ام بي تركيا بدأت ترى صح؟ ولا الأرجنتين وش وقت يلعبون ببجي؟ ما أدري والله.
Romania, and now they realize there might just be more kill potential up towards the northern side, and they found just that. One knock against, I think it was Kalsi, one knock against Turkey at the very least. Not going to get the flash, but still, they did see the sidelines were kind of good for them, and they should know that SG has to move as well. Now Chile comes in though.
هياله بس يلعب بالبرازيل. اي افكت يلا ديشه جيب الكل. ديشه خذ الكل حلو. مصري هي امي دمها هي دمي. يلا يلا توكسين يا وحش.
He might stop right here and try to play this lower ground, but even just that move has been made so much easier by Chile sending it in. It's looking like a re-breach though. It's looking like Kyrgyzstan is going all the way in. Romania, they're fighting for the no loot. Kyrgyzstan has just taken this under everyone's eyes. They've just in broad daylight. They've dropped the place, taken the building for themselves. It's absolute madness on both sides of the circles. But
nice Doreen.
Look at this, they took that one building that wasn't really playing.
Nice
because they knew both these teams were
بلعنك يا اخي ليش يا مصر.
They are making it work right now. One more frag.
Nice ريدوكس ودورين والله خرافيين يا حبيبي. شلون دخلوا هالدخله هاي؟
Either way, Kyrgyzstan is doing the exact same thing, just cleaning it up. They will have that compound. It's just a matter of second. Egypt gets taken out as well. That's the 9th flag and another unfathomable performance coming up.
والله ما ادري
very early on. We're only in stage 6 and they've got the circle.
How did these two teams just walk away from the fight they had versus each other? They were tearing each other to pieces. One of them walks away to the north side, one of them walks away to the south side, and they both just clean the rest of the lobby. They both just figured out this is not the fight we want, this is not where we want to be, and they take the map. We saw how hard that was to get into, we saw how much space was taken on all of these sides. And well, You either brute force your way in with a DBS, or you just pull out a 500 IQ rotation like Kyrgyzstan did. That was beautiful. That was, oh, that warms my heart. Seeing things like that. Robbery in broad daylight, and just like that, they are now in a winning position. And look at that. They're slowly creeping back into each other. Doran is already looking over his shoulders. Beautiful nade towards the north, but
الله قرغيزستان باك تو باك تشيكن يا الله. شوفوا هذا مكان مصر، هذا مكان مصر، ما يصير، لازم تدافع عن مكانه. نظام بطولة 18 جيم وتجميع نقاط بس.
Incredible stuff, and then the decision making to push at that very moment is going to give them the best positions out of the circle. If you've seen the players and the teams that are left alive, we have 2 in Romania, we have 2 in Serbia and 2 in Argentina. If Kyrgyzstan is going to clean up every single one,
صربيا عايش كوا وعايش
all the rest of the 2 main players are just going to split apart, and as soon as Kyrgyzstan is going to get info on the rest of the circle, they might just opt for a more clean approach, you know, just going edge to edge and just cleaning them up. This is very possible in this very specific circle. So that would give them
يعني شبه خلص الفايت على مصر.
It's going to be tricky, but there is a chance
منو مدرب
that it
مصر؟
just works out for them. If they manage to isolate the right fights at the right time, if they, for example, just swing north.
هي انا ما راح اقوم اسوي نرجيله محمود.
Nobody should be able to pounce in time. Serbia's
اخوان اريد اكل نصحوني.
And everybody else should realize as well that
ها نوشة مدرب مصر. احنا حيدر بيكون مدرب منتخب العراق.
And there's still also potential for this to go wrong.
سمعت ان
But just the
الاتحاد
fact that
معينين حيدر مدرب
finds
منتخب العراق.
themselves in this position, in such a beneficial position, again, in the second round, possibly
كوا لعيب والله. لعيب.
That is craziness to me.
CONQUEROR on 7 eliminations. Can you believe it? CONQUEROR is on 7 eliminations after he's had that massive performance on Sanhok again. Kyrgyzstan, everyone's going to look at the total leaderboard after this round and be like, Kyrgyzstan, how are you going to close this gap even today? You know, depending on how they want to win this round. But if they do win this round, it's going to be absolutely massive. Nate comes out, surely going to clean this one up. That's exactly the kind of place that I'm talking about. You do have them an advantage. You should know this at this point. You can see how many players are remaining. And you can kind of just tell by the way the circle works.
لا اكو بطولة ثانية مال المنتخبات قريبة يوم السبت يمكن.
As many players left alive as you do. And that should be Argentina going down in a matter of seconds.
متى أهل العراق هنا؟ يا عيال لايكاتكم مغاربة وين؟ الجزائريين وين؟ المصريين وين؟ خلونا أعلام الدول هاي بالشات.
Kyrgyzstan has to be a little careful. They have to tread carefully about what they do.
ما أريد قرغيزستان يفوزون
The
يا.
worst thing they can do is lose a member. And as long as
أكو
they
غلط
keep
بهاي.
they have enough space to play this late game. As long as they keep 4
أيوه شيله دورين هذا خرافي هذا اللاعب خرافي والله مكسب كل تيمات المية.
As long as there's no knock, it's very easy.
لا صالح شو
And when you've had so many bodies to loot, because you've just cleared out
لازم
the
يلعب
compound, you have been able to stock back up. So still plenty of meds, quite a bit of utility.
يعني أكو 3 أسماء لازم.
The eyes
لورد الحج فوق لازم وغيب وكلقة وريو فريك وجعفر يعني مليون اسم.
Doran and Redux, 2 of the players you absolutely want to have left alive in this kind of scenario as well.
اخوان وين اعلام المغرب اعلام الجزائر اعلام مصر.
Left alive in this one. You can see Koa on the back distance as well. His teammate being the MVP of the qualifiers, Bisky, unfortunately taken down already, but these 2 are an absolute powerhouse as well. So maybe I did say
ديما يا مغربة ديما.
Definitely not easy against these kind of players. You can see Doran kind of using that vehicle for some more information up towards the Richland from Kyrgyzstan. But Kyrgyzstan themselves, I think at this point, they know that actually clear, Argentina's out. They do take things just a tiny bit slower as well. Now they realize maybe some more control towards the next ridge, take things ridge by ridge.
بطولة يمكن على 200. لا.
Movement kind of approach. Same 1-4, always cover him, never underestimating the plays that could be here, and that's exactly what they're doing. This is going to be interesting seeing whether or not it's going to work. It's perfect, just perfectly placed. And Redux goes down.
Nice.
And that is his 8th frag in this
والله
round.
لعيب.
Excuse me, no, Sarek actually gets this one. Still on 7, but that might just be another one coming in since Doran is just behind.
دورين يسويها عليهم. فلشهم.
Has to move as well now. Boozone coming in.
He's got the DBS. popped out a flashbang, trying to stay in it for just that little bit longer.
يا اخوان الفلاش بعد التحديث صار يطول الوقت ماله. لازم يستغلوا. يلا كوا يلا كوا يلا كوا. دورين راح. باك تو باك. اخوان دز اللايف للمغاربه للجزائريين المصريين.
Waiting for the anchor, opening that angle up to the north, and oh my, they have so much control here, Felix.
Yes, they do. When I was talking
Like, flick, قوم ولا قوم شيله. كشفت مكانه. دمجهم والله يا. كوة. دمجها ميلز. نوكوا أول. ممكن ثاني. يلا. أوه يا كوة يا مجنون. لا!
And it will be the two back-to-back chicken dinners that we can see here live from here. Oh my goodness, that was way too close, wasn't it?
Oh, that almost fell apart. That looked so controlled, but the trades were just not going the way.
بشكي ضاج.
He's upset. Oh, he's not happy.
We gotta turn around and look at them.
هذا بشكي
He's walking away. He can't believe he missed out at the end. He got so close.
He had the DBS as well. Out of all the weapons you can have, he had the DBS to make it happen.
There was 20 HP.
أو في الدي بي اس تطلع له بالسلاح.
There is no way.
Wow. Still though, great performance of both of the teams, and again, two of the teams we were highlighting very early on as well to come out swinging on day one.
لايكاتكم.
That was something that is way above what we expected. Sure, they were favorites. Sure, they have incredibly
مونستر والله مسيطر على ببجي موبايل.
including hot there a little bit in terms of
كل البطولات
international
ببجي
experience.
موبايل
But the
هو
main roster,
مونستر
the core of it is unfathomable. But this kind of performance, once again, being kind of a zone that really wasn't favoring anyone up towards phase 4, 5, 6. Them going out like this, just fragging everyone. Kind of having a hillside as well. They can just
والله ما ادري يا
everyone up.
حبيبي.
I don't know. It's unfathomable. If they keep
شو اللي دخله شجع قرغستان. شو اللي دخله ابو عمامي قرغستانيين والله.
They were so clean. They were clinical. They were absolutely taking their time. They were scouting out ridge by ridge. They see the player, they molly him out of position. They push the second one. Beautiful stuff. No risks taken, no 1v1s taken.
عليكم السلام.
And then they get into the 4v2 and they have every angle in the world, and somehow they get traded so badly they end up in a 1 versus 1 where they have 20 HP on themselves.
With the HP disadvantage. I thought it was over when Flaky had that.
كلام كبير هذا سامع.
He laid down low. I thought at that point it was going to be over.
ما تأهل العراق زهراء لأنه ما قدر يتأهل تصفيات.
Absolutely.
هاي المباريات تلعب بمدينة ياش في رومانيا. لا غيوث أنا ما أرد السلام روحتي. عليكم السلام ميمي وعليكم السلام ميلان. نوبات شات سريع ما تلحق.
We're going to have to take a look back at this.
We're going to have to take a look back. We'll see the highlights and all that stuff. I'm going to have to talk to Core and see why he was storming off after that game.
We're running back up there.
Thanks everybody for watching so far. That was game number 2. It is looking insane from Kyrgyzstan right now. We're going to send you to a short break and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
شي 10 دقائق 12 دقيقة على بريك. 10 دقائق. يلا بروح اسوي ارجيله واجيكم ها. بضبط الارجيله واجيكم. اطلب لي لقمه قبل ما اروح اقول لكم قولوا لي شو اتغدى قولوا لي شو اطلب اكل لان عزابي وحده بالبيت انا المره بيت ما يم بيت اهلها سليك شنو هاي سليك برجر بس محمود دورمه مين اطلب دورمه زيد حبيبي اكتبوا لي يا عيال اريد شيء اكله شاورما ما ادري عندكم سماع عادي عندنا شاورما وعندنا قص مو كل شيء شاورما اجنحه ريزو يمكن اطلب ريزو ها هلا ابو تريك وعليكم السلام نور بطلب من فايكنج
top 3 players will make it out there, right? So basically 2 people will make it out on the lower side and 1 person gets it advanced. So whoever's the main winner, they're ahead
خلص
of everybody.
هاي عرفت راح اطلب ريزو بيبسي. راح اروح اني اسوي الارجيله واجيكم يا عيال.
I used to be a competitor in it, now I'm a commentator and obviously, but this game itself, right? There's a lot of fighting games out there. This is the one true 3D fighting game.
Having so many countries in this city is something very special, and it's an honor to be here and play against most.
Am văzut că sunt foarte multe echipe, sincer să fiu, nu prea mult în ultima perioadă meciurile, dar cred că USA o să ne surprindă foarte mult.
I'm confident and I have plans for my opponents, but I know they are good players, so I'll do my best.
Obviously want to win this tournament, and we have had a lot of time to practice, and we have a lot of talented players we brought to this tournament.
Toată lumea vorbește de Iași. Iași e capitalul sportului în țara asta.
Over 700 gamers from around the globe will join us to compete and battle it out for glory to earn their place in the pantheon of champions.
Because of this event, so I'm really happy that I saw a lot of female team. Like it's an opportunity to play against them all.
We've been looking at the other teams so far, and we've been scouting them, like what they play and how they feel like.
Cel mai bun evenimente până acum la care am fost eu în țara la noi.
Beautiful country, beautiful people, amazing food.
Good luck to everyone. Let's enjoy together these days of sharing values.
We have a couple of things prepared, so we're coming in with a little strat book, but enough to win our games.
حبك على قلبي تشلل برشا 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 يا مدلل برشا برشا حبك على قلبي تشلل.
Top 3 players will make it out there, right? So basically 2 people will make it out on the lower side and 1 person gets it advanced. So whoever's the main winner, they're ahead of everybody. I used to be a competitor in it, now I'm a commentator and obviously, but this game itself, right? There's a lot of fighting games out there. This is the one true 3D fighting game.
Having so many countries in this city is something very special, and it's an honor to be here and play against most.
Am văzut că sunt foarte multe echipe, sincer să fiu, nu prea mult în ultima perioadă meciurile, dar cred că USA o să ne surprindă foarte mult.
I'm confident and I have plans for my opponents, but I know they are good players, so I'll do my best.
obviously want to win this tournament, and we have had a lot of time to practice. And we have a lot of talented players we brought to this tournament.
Toată lumea vorbește de Iași. Iași e capitalul sportului în țara asta.
Over 700 gamers from around the globe will join us to compete and battle it out for glory to earn their place in the pantheon of champions.
Because of this event, so I'm really happy that I saw a lot of female team. Like it's an opportunity to play against them all.
We've been looking at the other teams so far, and we've been scouting them, like what they play and how they feel like.
Cel mai bun eveniment de până acum la care am fost eu în țară la noi.
Beautiful country, beautiful people, amazing food.
Good luck to everyone. Let's enjoy together these days of sharing values.
We have a couple of things prepared, so we're coming in with a little strat book, but enough to win our games.
The top 3 players will make it out there, right? So basically 2 people will make it out on the lower side and 1 person gets to advance. So whoever's the main winner, they're ahead of everybody. I used to be a competitor in it, now I'm a commentator in it, obviously. But this game itself, right, there's a lot of fighting games out there. This is a 1, 2, 3D fighting game.
Having so many countries in this city is something very special, and it's an honor to be here and play against most.
Am văzut că sunt foarte multe echipe, sincer să fiu, nu prea mult în ultima perioadă meciurile, dar cred că USA o să ne surprindă foarte mult.
I'm confident and I have plans for my opponents, but I know they are good players, so I'll do my best.
Obviously want to win this tournament, and we have had a lot of time to practice. And we have a lot of talented players we brought to this tournament.
Toată lumea vorbește de Iași. Iași e capitalul sportului în țara asta.
Over 700 gamers from around the globe will join us to compete and battle it out for glory to earn their place in the pantheon of champions.
Because of this event, so I'm really happy that I saw a lot of female team. Like it's an opportunity to play against them all.
حبايب
We've
هذا
been
سوى
looking at the other
الكاميرا.
teams so far, and we've been scouting them, like what they play and how they feel like.
Cel mai bun eveniment de până acum la care am fost eu în țară la noi.
Beautiful country, beautiful people, amazing food.
Good luck to everyone. Let's enjoy together these days of sharing values.
We have a couple of things prepared, so we're coming in with a little strat book, but enough to win our games.
هسه احسن صح؟ حبايب خلص فهم منور ازعر قلبي. حيا الله يا حيا الله ازعر نورتني. فلسطين مو مشاركين بس ولا حبيبي ان شاء الله خير. حبك الموسم يا وجيكي. Cannot understand you, Munsif.
Welcome back with this quick pause. Back to the WEC, the 15th World Esports Championships, and we have PUBG Mobile once again coming up. If you've seen the last two games, you might think this is a kind of a done deal, right? Because that's just how it looks. But let me tell you, it's 18 games, so nothing really too big has happened so far.
حبايب والله لايكات قليلة.
Kyrgyzstan, back-to-back chicken dinner, and not only that, they have done so with a massive amount of eliminations, and they have done so right from completely deserved wins as well.
Craziness. Nobody expected that. We knew there was a lot of good teams in the lobby. We had them on our list of the teams to be looking out for. Nobody really expected any team to run away with it. If we did expect a team to run away with it, it would have been Turkey or Romania. That was in my head. Right now, that's looking mighty different. And it's crazy what they've been able to achieve in the first few games. They've shown that they can do it on Sanhok. They've shown that they can do it on Erangel. And speaking about Erangel, we're going into another one. 64 players, 16 teams in a plane that's going straight across the map. And that's absolutely sending it west to east. Can Kyrgyzstan do it again? 27 points after 2 games. I'm not good at maths, but that's about 14 points per game. That is, that's not even what they had. They had about 14 kills per game, plus 10 placement points.
Yeah.
They're crazy right now.
It is completely absurd, to be honest. It is completely absurd. Talking about confidence starting off into this game, I mean, we're talking about Ukraine and them saying, you know, just all you need to do is just not start off with a 0-point game, and I can totally see that as a player. It was the exact same. But, I mean, there still has to be a difference between taking like 3-4 points at the start of the game and then like winning back-to-back chicken dinner. That still has to make a difference in confidence levels. And right now, Kyrgyzstan, if anyone's got the confidence, they do. Let's see if they can keep this up, because there always tends to be the kind of teams where if they start off really, really strong, maybe even throughout the whole day, they get overly confident. They make the mistakes they normally wouldn't, because, you know, it's not every day. It's just as much as it is weird for some teams to have like a fluke of a performance, just as much is it weird for some teams to have like a massive performance. Both of these kind of performances you have to deal with and be able to kind of adapt to it like mentally. So let's see if Kyrgyzstan is going to be able to do it.
It's going to be hard to keep up the same pace, but if anything, it's really just how you want to start with, and it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulder, because essentially what they've been able to do is they already have a decent day. If they get 0 points in the next 4 games, they already had a decent day. And that is just wild. That is craziness. Tons of other teams in the lobby, they're saying, well, it's only been 2 games. We can still rectify this. We can still catch up. Well, Kyrgyzstan, they're not going to have to catch up for another full day, regardless of what happens here. So crazy stuff from them right now. Crazy rotation for Armenia. This is a little bit risky. No helmet on the back of a buggy. Things you hate to see. But they will make it across, pushed into the north side of Erangel, and hopefully collect a few more vehicles along the way.
Things you'd love to see as an opposing player.
Yeah, no helmet.
Is there any more beautiful sight than having 2 players in a buggy without helmets?
Yeah,
I think there is.
That is.
But I don't think anyone's going to be able to see them, no. Next team is down towards the southern side of Georgia Pole. Anyways, next circle coming up, the first one actually, it is going to be a southwestern circle. Now this one surely is not going to end very fierce, at least I don't think so. So we will have another new circle coming in on Erangel. Let's head on over to Mansion, because we do see Philippines, at least one of the players, Rocello, in a little bit of a tricky scenario, a little bit of a tricky spot. Argentina is going to be there to greet him on the other side of the building. I'm not sure they know how many players are there, but I was talking about Philippines the last game. I feel like the way they play so far, the team playing, the peeking around and the fighting has been maybe more on a similar level as Kyrgyzstan. I know it sounds weird since they are so far ahead, you know, in terms of the total points they've gathered so far. But I really feel like what we've seen so far from the Philippines really just didn't do them justice. I didn't expect that to be so confident and so well. Rocello on this one is not going to get anything, though. Will be pushed by 2 of the players from Argentina, making that one really clean. But they have committed to this one at this point.
There's a crossbow on Iron. That's absolutely wild. He's going to be running away from this one. Doesn't want to make the same mistake. Rusello getting caught out in the 1v3 means taken out swiftly and quickly by Argentina. Now, Allende is going to make the run. He's going to run for his life, try and get away from things. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to fit a nade into that doorway. That would be disaster for Argentina. But the res has now come through. The nade has missed, and we're back to a 4v3. I have to agree, though. The way Philippines has been fighting in these last few games makes me think that a 4v3 versus Argentina is still doable for them. The question is, do they want that at all?
هلا حبايب
The
منورين.
they have a push into mansion is suicide.
لايكات لا تروح يا عيال.
Well, we talked about players on a buggy, things you hate to see, but running down that hillside through the
تركي
fence,
تراني
that
بالديسكورد ذات
is
اللي
possibly
تجي.
a whole lot worse than just driving around on a buggy. So they're going to cut their losses here, smartly so. And that's a good sign for me, at least, because we've already talked about their team fighting. It's been looking very decisive, aggressive. Now they're showing that they have their
يا أخي شيء من الزون السابق يشبهه.
down into every fight they can take. They're happy to back off when they're outpositioned.
They seem to be very much on the same.
لا ما يلعب
Whenever I
شيء.
saw them walking around, they seem like they could, like they just, yeah, they were just on the same page. They could communicate without actually having to say any words. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'm over-interpreting some things, but
ما لا عندك نرجيله ولا فعل مع الشد شو تريد فيوري.
that are remaining today. Maybe even this one. We'll see. Few plays, definitely something you can still make some.
لا والله بالشمال حريب ذبح عن المباراة
I think that was Romania that we just saw. Still being in the apartments, not even bothering about rotating. Just as much as Brunei just isn't
نبيل نور.
rotating out of Raza.
زيد أي منور ألون ياسر.
Because you can see Ukraine. Were they chasing
الكل
them actually?
كل حبايب XQF
Why else would they
CDS.
be here with a 3-man?
Yeah, this is a very awkward way to dissolve the hot drop in Rosa.
لأنه عنده بي ام بي
Two
الله
guys
يجوز
on
الظاهر ما
three-seater
يقدر
bike.
يلعب.
We talked about how much
GEEKAY
the
الباترون
buggy is
إنه
exposed. The three-seater bike, not that much better. I'll be completely honest. Not the most maneuverability on that either.
I'll take it back with the buggy. This is an even better sight.
Yeah.
2 players without helmets on a 3-man. 3 players without helmets.
إيد هوك شعب
If they
الدنيا.
drive straight at you, you know they're not even going to be able to turn in time. The
أشوف
only
لك
thing
إيش
that
قدر
can go wrong is that they
الحرارة
run you over. That's the only thing you have to worry about. Other than that,
إحنا يومنا 39
so
مش
they're going to
فاهم.
try to grab more vehicles on the way, as many teams are trying to do. There's Romania, Milta Power side of things. 3 guys, 1 car. Also not the most optimal.
يقول أياله لاعب
ways,
تيم
but
لوبس
they're gonna find
الأرجنتيني.
themselves more along their way to the zone. Octavian, a little bit overzealous, has to take a booster on that one. Will take
هولك لا هافليك يا
some
خاف
additional blue
تصل.
zone damage, but they will
هافليك
keep
لعيب
themselves
يجنن.
inside, and they will take their time here.
كان ويا
Erangel
دقيقة أنا أنزل
offers
أجيب
lots
لك
of
لون.
rotation routes, so
يلا حبيبي بالباباني.
for the home team.
I was talking to the Turkish team just before the first game. I was asking them, you have been, it's kind of not really struggling, but you have had your ups and downs so far. I think that is justified to say it like that, right? To analyze that performance after PMGC. They did have their ups and downs, especially with the point change that has happened after PMGC. I feel like there were months where you could just tell they just haven't fully adapted, and they just haven't had the same performance since PMGC.
Yeah.
But they said they are not worried about that at all. Now, surely they wouldn't just tell us straight up, right? That's just not how it works. But I could tell they were very convinced in their answer. So I'm not too worried that Turkey hasn't had the performance that you want to see from them and that you expected to see from them in the first games. Since the way they play right here, very centralized, it's bound to happen at some point. Because individually, even if macro gaming just doesn't work out in this lobby individually, they should still frag the hell out, actually.
Yeah.
Let's just put it like that. There's no other way to talk about their fragging individual power. They should.
There's also nothing wrong with a slow start when the lobby is that unknown to you, right? They might thrive a little bit more of expecting what players around them do, knowing exactly what timings teams like to hit, what compounds they like to split around, all that kind of stuff. It's just not existent in these kind of lobbies. You just don't know what people are going to do. People don't usually play for their nation. People usually play for their team, and that means a whole lot of different rosters are suddenly thrown and mixed around in these lobbies. A lot less time to prepare, a lot less knowledge you can even have about the other teams in the lobby. So if you thrive off that, it's going to mean a lot of adapting. But you can adapt during the tournament. It's just hard to adapt during the first or second game. You know, it's going to take time, and if you have the individual class to do so, if you have the individual class to just figure out how teams are playing and counteract that, then you can definitely easily come back the more matches go on. Circle, going towards Quarry. We were
So
hyped.
good for
You were
STG.
hyped about that before. Perfect for S2G. Perfect for Turkey. But look who's even more central.
Yeah, are you
on their
kidding me right
southern
now?
side.
Are you kidding me right now? It's going to be Kyrgyzstan being in the very center of it. So that phase, I don't know. I just, we've seen back-to-back chicken dinners throughout our competitive time.
Yeah.
Every so often, right, that happens. But a back-to-back chicken dinner, that is something that happens so incredibly rarely. Now, no, it's phase 2. We shouldn't overly judge.
Yeah.
But,
يلا يا ساتر يا ساتر يا ساتر. شكو يا عيال شكو شنو المشاكل اللي جاي يصير؟ اكو مشاكل اكو فان ما لحقت اقرا التعليقات انا كنت اجيب الاكل. حبايبنا الحلوين المنورين هذا البث احنا مالتنا ما يصير بيه مشاكل ابد ولا يصير بيه غلط ابد. بثنا بث هادئ. شوف هاي الريزو تجيبه تسوي له هيجي طيط خوف صارت الامور طيبه. تصير الامور طيبه فول الفول. خلينا نشغل لكم الصوت شوي.
Start rambling on. They're the only one. There's plenty.
لا وراها ملتزم هنا الله وراها راس التزام فول.
Everybody right now.
Yeah.
Just saying.
رقاعة
Maybe that's something to take notes of. Everybody.
I mean, we have seen
الله يعافيك يا رب.
meta change in the last recent months. You know, the minis
سبرايز
has
حبيبي
become more
انت شو تريد؟
prevalent in esports, but it's not 100% come through as much as I would have
لا
loved to
بالعكس
see
حلو
it,
التعليق.
because we have seen the AR SMG combo
يعني
now
قاعد ليش
throughout the
راح
last 2
تسولف؟
years essentially. As far as I can think back, actually, it's always been AR and SMG. So I really would love to see that change. I mean, the patch notes have gone in that direction as well. So I think sooner or later we will see that change in esports as well completely. At least that's what I'm thinking. RT is going to get taken down. Octavian with another.
لا سويت ميوت حبيبي.
Usually the strongest fragger, at least throughout the whole history of that team and them playing together, I feel like he's always been the most solid fragger. But just recently now, Doran has been making absolute strides as well, and Redux obviously as well. So we'll see who's going to make the big impact in this tournament. So far, it's kind of split even between all of them.
Love to see Octavian proving he's the better Oct as he takes down Octi and making sure that he wins out on the best player with that username. Now, Philippines, talked about them plenty. There is Serbia, there is Makassar. Taking one for himself. Again, another classic loadout. It's either the M4 and the UMP or the M4 and the DBS, depending. Sometimes you'll get a scar in there, but right now, aggression is the name of the game, and you love to have a DBS when you're aggressing somebody. He's waiting for a little bit of backup, though. He's not overstepping his boundaries just yet. Could even get a first aid out if he wants to. He's taking his time, but now the time is up. Player comes up the ridge line, does a little bit of damage, but it does not matter. Knocked and flushed, and Serbia picks up their 3rd kill of the game, and again, it's the Philippines they're clashing with.
It's going to be Bizkit with 1 and Maksha with 2. Bizkit actually being the MVP of the qualifiers going into this tournament. Nexus, though, or Romania rather, as I should say, going in towards these eastern edges and towards the eastern territory, and they will find immediate frags on towards Armenia as well. So more frags being picked up. It's the 4th one so far, and it is looking pretty good on that rotate too. We do have phase 3, and I do believe there's plenty of entry towards that southern side, especially since Kyrgyzstan has now been kind of shut down very early on in terms of grabbing too much control on that southern side. You can see Effect is, now that I say it, Effect is still fragging on through. He's even getting the flush on this one. I'm not sure how he did that, but still there will be weekend on that southern side.
Kyrgyzstan maybe, like you said, maybe a little bit overconfident. Maybe they were just playing their standard splits and it's worked out for them 2 games in a row. You don't want to interpret too much into a single death, but they tried to take a little bit too much. They got shut down. They lost the player for it. They're going to play a little bit more conservative from now on, as we see Algeria joining the Primorsk family. That is already Colombia and Kyrgyzstan. You do have to give the best chances, though, to Kyrgyzstan. They have an exit. They have a way out of town. Nobody else has that right now, as Colombia would have to work their way on through. That being said, with manpower, with utility, you can definitely work your way through a team, and we've seen a lot of banger nades in this tournament. just open things up. And I see a gas can there. If a nade lands in that room, not going to be good times for Ziric. Could be something he has to worry about. Romania coming in on the beach side, very possible approach. You've got to make most of the low ground. And I'm hoping they have enough mids because they seem to be rather tagged up.
Old boy in the distance. I think it's just been taken down. Ukraine is not off to a good start whatsoever. And the meanwhile, Biscuit does find another one. Serbia is on the way actually towards kind of a more centralized position throughout that eastern side. You can see them rotating off in the distance. While we have another frag on the way of Brunei. Looks like it's going to be a quick train goes down as well. But yeah, look at this. So Kapahar has been taken down. Despite that, good entry so far. I like it. It's been shifting more towards the south side as well, but there is still a lot of water inside. So I think what they're aiming for is going to be the hill just north of the city. You can see where Six is kind of playing it at the moment. I think that's going to be the end game for Nexus. I don't see another way. And that is breachable. With the cars, that is definitely breachable, especially considering that Kazakhstan has got a massive split going on. And they need these knocks. That's exactly what they need. Ridux gets shut down. They cannot allow Romania to get an action towards that hillside.
Good spray. Another mini coming through, doing big impact for his team. Doran, what is going on? He's completely alone there. No idea what he was getting into, it seems. Things you hate to see if you're Kazakhstan at this point. You've got the entry knock, you've had the upper hand, now suddenly your close range position has been taken over, you have no more space, you've got to worry about the utility coming your way as well. Doran, I'm not sure where that nade's landing, but it's not getting close. He's trying to pre-fire that tree. 6 kills already for Romania. This is not going to be a bad game regardless of how this turns out, but wanted to touch on what we saw there for a second in Primorsk, which was Colombia. There it is, beautiful. Thank you, observers. Taking the aggression early, trying to take space away from Kyrgyzstan, trying to see if they can find an opening, find an entry. It hasn't worked out, but they're trying to make their exit work before they have to go. And that is beautiful. That's things you love to see if you're a fan of Colombia at this point.
Absolutely. Take the initiative and take the fight towards them. And don't let zones dictate on what you have to do. Do it the other way around. And yeah, you can see Nexus kind of doing the same thing. They very early on, they didn't have to move just yet, but they knew if they do it the zone later, Kazakhstan might just have different positions, and they might not have as much control as they would have right now. Even though Nexus is losing one play at least for now, maybe even a second one if the next nade hits it pretty well, they are still in the game. They're still very much in the game. You can see Octavian still supporting from the back, and that's going to give them the opportunity to still do something. Oh, Puncher just rotated off. His position is down, though, and Redox, he stops the rest to be able to shoot at Puncher. If they take him down, he's so low. If they would have taken him down, that would have been a fight that was 100% possible for Romania. Right now, it's a 3-on-3 with a definite positional advantage for Kazakhstan.
And don't get confused. The player in the shaft to the north, that is not a Romanian player. That's an Armenian player. That is a wizard, making a possible entrance onto this later on, as he could be the thorn in the backside for Romania here, or for Kazakhstan, depending on how this fight goes. As we see a few of the highlights from Doran, who's been picking up points for Romania. And again, fight resets, slows down, but the longer this takes, the more teams are going to be interested in this. And Koa, the man of the match almost for Serbia in the last game, he's already looking at this. He's already getting interested. He's getting excited. And if he finds a chance to pick up a kill or two, he's going to get in there.
SUG still forming up. Don't be confused. Even though Ham's just kind of alone in the position he just was at, and he just realized that, and that's why he wrote it on back. He does have his teammates right around the corner, and that is a breach if I've ever seen one. He gets baited out of that warehouse, and he gets immediately traded up, though still in a good position to make something happen. He takes down Kalzi, but is there going to be more?
Oh, that is explosive, to say the least. 1-1 trade, though, at this point. Remember, they've lost numbers earlier here. Ukraine, they're going to have a hard time pulling this back. Old boy, 75 HP. Nate is trying to confirm the flush, and it does. Beautiful from Rezi from the side. Silas takes a bit of damage back, but we have another circle coming on in. It's going to dictate players a little bit more towards the Primorsk area, but this fight, whoever wins it will have a good entry on that northern side. The northwestern hill is still entirely free at this point. If you can manage to get off the quarry rocks as the last team and the only team standing there, you have a beautiful game ahead of you. 8 kills, by the way, on Romania. They've fully cleaned up their hill. They're looking poised and ready to take a good game away.
Absolutely, they do. Tresley, and kind of a weird spot. He could have been shot in the back just there, but he somehow makes it out. And meanwhile, one boy has been knocked as well, and surely he will bleed out as well. So Kyrgyzstan, though, looking back at this, Morocco still in the city as well. Colombia has kind of just rotated off, as far as I can see. They just kind of just fall back, unless they just got wiped by Kyrgyzstan. I'm not sure. Either way, they're still inside the city, and they're still having a fight. 2 knocks against Morocco, leaves just 1 player left alive, and that's Marshall up there. Support comes in. The cavalry kind of has arrived, as GEEKAY and Effect are now standing in a 2-on-1 at this house, and I mean, no way Marshall's going to survive this. Oh, okay, never mind. They're not even going to have to do anything. As they do get eliminated up there, there should be information given to Kyrgyzstan too. Gotta watch out, man.
Gotta watch out for those mollies. Gotta watch out for these gas cans. 4 kills though for Kyrgyzstan, and very nicely delayed by Zerj there. I think he got the first knock. He waits for Effect to come on over. A little bit of help from Eskela from Chile in the back lines there makes the dream work for Kyrgyzstan. Still holding quite a lot of ground. But again, if there comes a full team, if numbers come knocking, it's going to be hard to hold with how split they are. Tresley has snuck his way in on that northern side. It's looking like Egypt are well aware that there might still be remainders of the Corey teams. They're looking for it. And there's so many stragglers. We're down to 12 teams, but only 22 players. That's not even 2 per team. That is pretty wild for a phase 5 here, Felix.
It really is. Quickly judging by the map, S2G has made it in. They rotated down from the Corey side. They made it in towards the northwestern side, which is kind of the best circle, best position inside the circle you can have right now. Because look at the position you have. You have so much control. And that's the main part. You might be in the circle center, but you have so much control. And just judging by what we've seen so far in terms of circle patterns, it's not going to go the way of the city. I feel like it's definitely going to go northern, towards the northern side of the current safe zone. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't want to make an exact call on this one. But if that happens, S2G, they will have a massive amount of kill potential from other teams coming in through the southern side.
No, even if the circle does go south, they can still play into that ridge north of the city, play it down slow from the hill, pick up players around them. And if they realize who's where, if they get a good grasp on the lobby, again, 21 players, 11 teams.
لا ما متأهل السعودية
بدأ. Romania still kicking with 3. We saw Kyrgyzstan with 3. Those are the big threads.
ما كنت موجود بالستيج يعني بقلاوة ما كنت موجود بالايفنت على ارض الواقع ما ادري.
Especially on the leaderboard. Maybe not in this game, but especially on the leaderboard.
يونيتا دائما طلعوهم
you were waiting for. This is exactly the chance for S2G to put their stamp on the lobby and bring Team Turkey into a higher standing.
And can I just talk about how crazy it is that we still have 11 teams alive? Sure, there's a city inside of it, and that kind of always means we have more teams alive than what should be possible at this point. But still, 21 players.
كان البنج عالي. لا ياسر لا مو البنج عالي.
2 players per team. That is kind of absurd. That is really kind of absurd.
in
phase 5. So yeah, we'll see. Romania, but I quickly want to touch on Romania as well.
فلسطين
They
انسحبوا.
have the second best position just because of the fact that they're 1 man down after S2G. And it does go kind of centralized, but it does shift out of the city, and that's what I meant. Nothing in the city is in anymore. And Romania now, even more than S2G, at least for now, at least for phase number 6, has
مستوى تعبان البنج عالية.
racking up frags.
هاي النسخة ال 15 من هاي البطولة.
Or will it be too much? Because there's lots of angles you have to focus on.
There is a lot coming their way, but there is a good
لذلك
chance
أغلب
that a
المنتخبات
lot of what's coming their
منتهية.
way clashes with each other. There's a lot of chance that Kyrgyzstan doesn't let both these Algerian players out of Primorsk. There's a lot of chance that maybe the Chilean solo from behind takes away 1 from Kyrgyzstan. There's a lot of chances that S2G, when they cross that dirt road, lose a player in the approach. So the circle is really swung in the favor of Romania, and there's a lot of things that can go right. A lot of things that can go wrong. But when you're the team that doesn't have to move, you're happy about all these solos being stacked in tiny little positions
65.
and absolutely just waiting to ruin one of the top teams, one of the strong teams, which is pretty much what Iron is doing here. He's trying to not let Kyrgyzstan cross. The circle's going to push him out at some point, but he's taking a lot of time away from them, and he's buying a lot of time for Eskela to make a move around the backside.
I'm still not sure I agree with this one. He's kind of wasting a lot of nades in utility.
Absolutely.
Where it could be
Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan though.
What Jody, he could. I think he could have saved his teammate. Essentially, was what I'm trying to say, and he could have been in a better position right now.
صوتي ناصي والله مو ناصي.
If he would have used that utility a little bit better instead of just being so singly focused on. Maybe he had a different kind of angle before.
هسه صوتي زين.
So unfortunately for him, he's definitely going to lose his teammate. He does have a card though. Okay, maybe I'll take some of that back.
ما ادري والله الظاهر ما منضمين جزء الاتحاد العالمي او هيك شيء. هامسي تدمج.
Because right now don't see a position that's still open that can still be played.
Absolutely, exactly the ridge we expected S2G to play. We expected Turkey to come down from the north, take control of this northern ridge, and then maybe try and choke out whatever comes out of Primorsk. Right now, they have to be a little bit careful. They need to get their heals back up, need to get their HP in check, and then they can try and hold versus Kyrgyzstan. There is a chance that a solo or an angle from behind, like Eleanor from Georgia, is doing a ton of damage to them right now. But you can
ما تأهلوا البرازيل.
on top. Kalsi finds the knock from afar. That's the opening towards Kyrgyzstan, and time is
لا مو اوزبكستان سنوسي قرغيزستان هذول كي جي زد.
But even before now, they opted to send two players up to the side, and I was just waiting to see that happen because I just knew a top team.
ومن وعيه ولا حب شوك تقرب بطولة ومن وعيه ما شنو هاي الكلمة أول مرة شو فيفو كيد مثل البرازيل ذيك المرة.
What is happening right now? Where's the trades though? Silas is back down towards the street. He got shot in the distance.
هسه راح يسوون جيم ثالث خلاص جي جي.
For now at least, still two players left alive. They are in kind of a good position still.
Oh, they've pushed Turkey back so far. Turkey was trying to clear their edge. They were trying to take space, take aggression. You said kill potential. Well, they tried to capitalize on it, and they still at least had the backup plan. They still had a plan with the DP14, but. Oh boy, they've lost half of their members. Yes, they're on 5 kills.
هالفترة مش قوي كثير SG. هاي الفترة الأخيرة يحتاجون يعني شوي يعودوا من جديد. جيم مصر يا رب. بس مصر دو صعبة. شوف قرغيزستان يا أخي يلعبون بريحية هسه يريدون يطبون على ذولا بس صعب ما يقدرون. بس بطل العالم فورتي ما تقدر بس مش بطل الحالات. أريد النقطة ها.
That's going to be a massive downside for Romania if he gets flushed on as well, and looks like
يا ساتر.
just about did. CONQUEROR keeps on pushing the southern edge. He keeps on wrapping around the smoke.
يا ساتر.
Doran goes down as well, and Octavian suddenly the last one alive. Did they just get wiped? Did they just get wiped? They did. Kyrgyzstan.
يا الله.
Hell, what is happening with these guys today? 10th elimination. They not only thought of S2G, they thought of the next best competition, not only on the leaderboards but in general in this tournament, and they just wiped both of them essentially.
That's insane. What just happened there is just another display.
يا الله.
Just being a level above. They're just rolling over that fight. There was plenty of util Celeste for Romania. They had 3 guys up. They were taking different angles. They were trying to set themselves up.
قرغيزستان يفوزون بالبطولة لازم.
They didn't even have a chance. They got rolled. They got folded, and they got put back into lobby. Not looking good for Romania. They're still second team on the leaderboard, as you said, but it felt like a class difference there, Felix. That felt crazy. Effect, Zerich, they're still tearing apart this lobby now. Another move they'll have to make. This one being probably the hardest one so far. Circle's actually hard shifted to the north. Egypt still ready and waiting. 2 players for Team Turkey as well.
3 أيام.
Crazy hard cross, no matter where they go. But they've done their job already.
Man, this is going to be one of the most exciting late games because we don't even have a 4-man team. We have 2 on
بس تجي شغل كازاخستان ماتوا.
And obviously this is open for anyone. If you look at the circle right now, everyone's got an opportunity. Maybe I'm
راحوا وبشوا دولة.
but they will have an opportunity to do so as well since they will be getting breached just a matter of seconds. And
مصر لازم يشيلوهم. مصر
who's gonna win this? They might have an opening.
حلوة نوكة هذا زين.
Doesn't even matter if Kyrgyzstan gets wiped here. It's still a massive game.
يا رباه.
He gets another one. It's the 11 for extra.
شنو هاي؟
Top 3 scenario too.
شنو هالثقة بالنفس هذه؟ جيم مصر. مصر يا أمي دمها هو دمي.
He's done it before. He's looking for it again as a solo. He's got tiny bit of utility left. He's crawling through the smokes. He's hoping to delay.
And then G3 خنقديش.
Turkey activates before effect gets taken out, but it's looking like it's just gonna be too little. Another smoke buys him another few seconds. He's got one more where that came from, but even Turkey is looking at him. Silas peeking over the ridgeline. Egypt fully focused on it, but they don't want to waste anything. They don't want to waste utility. They don't want to throw a nade. That's not going to help them out. They're going to try and keep everything they have until they know.
اوه خوش نيد هاي ديش.
And there it is. Beautiful nade.
نايس. اضرب ديشه وحش.
And Egypt trying to start the catch-up. Another 2-point kill, 2v2, Turkey ready and waiting for them.
Nice little clap there in the end. Desha is going to be able to take him down with the MG. Of that initial nade just didn't hit, but that means it's a 2-on-2 now in this late game scenario. Turkey, one of the absolute favorites in this tournament, is going to be able to have a chance at the first
يلا يا رب يا رب مصرية يا رب.
Here at the ISF World Esports Championship, the 15th version of it. And we are going down to the wire in just a couple of seconds. Silas on the far eastern side, sneaking his way through.
Look how much space they have. Look how much space Turkey is already controlling. Look how little space Desha has. The second
عنده طلق شلون قلت لي ما عنده رصاص عنده.
Still playing it slow, still just anchoring on that northern edge. Now they can group it up. Now they have
يعرفون بي منك هم احسن بوزيشن مالتهم احسن تركي. ناصر مجنون انت. مجنون سكيلز مجنون كلوز مجنون. والله يجزي عليك ناصر. انزل قبل السموك ناصر. كشفه. اوه يلا جي
It's gonna get them right back into this tournament, but it's definitely not enough. I mean, it's not
يلا نايس جيم ايجيبت نايس جيم.
I mean, the eliminations they just had.
لايكات يا عيال لايكات. ايدكم على الدبل يا عيال.
It is nowhere close to Kyrgyzstan. Still a really good performance though, and we saw that. That was the round I think we saw in the very first phase of it as well. The SG is going to have, SG, I mean Turkey, but essentially the players are going to have a chance at this round in terms of winning it definitely.
Yeah.
Because they were so well positioned and they had such good.
جحفله يا عيال لا يجحفلونا خلينا ناخذ 200 لايك.
Pretty much the whole circle, the whole quarry position was so well played, and the timing on when to rotate out of quarry and not risk the fight.
يمك جودة البث موشي حمودي.
That was the big decision maker in why they won this round in my opinion.
That was the one thing I wanted to touch on.
لا شو له دخل بريكو ناصر مصري كان بريكو سعودي.
Fight versus Ukraine. There was a knocks going back and forward. They were able to consolidate. They were able to get the hell out of there.
أنا هذا البث الرسمي غير مال ISF International.
That was the one point. Absolute magic that they can do in team fights apparently. And traded that out favorably somehow. But they consolidated again, pulled themselves back, realized we've got tons of
200 لايك يا عيال 4 لايكات على 200 لا يروح ليش ماكو العراق لين متى اهله حبيبي.
Is the thing we talked a lot about. Egypt has been scary consistently getting into these late games.
They have been. I'm kind of shocked at how consistent. Because even in this round, we would have not talked about Turkey just now if Egypt would have won that game.
Yeah.
It would have been a completely different storyline, but we can't really take anything away from them. They still took off home 6 placement points and a bunch of frags. Desha and NASR being the ones to carry that segment towards that late game. I quickly want to touch on Georgia because they had one of the best
شنو واسطات؟
originally on winning this one. They had the compound that was in the
ما موجود
middle
الصين.
of the city. And I felt like at that point
لعبوها الشهر الرابع او الخامس اتوقع الخامس.
fighting up towards that southern side. I thought at that point Georgia is surely going to push out and maybe get some frags in towards all of these fights, but they were so passive and that kind of lost them the game. Quick want to touch on that.
There was a situation as well where we saw Turkey leaving one player behind with the MG3 or it was DP14 at that point, DP28 excuse me. Just proned out there waiting.
عليكم السلام العبد الحليم.
As you might hear Indonesia here in the background getting hyped about their mobile.
سامان حبيبي هاي بطولة العالم اتحاد العالم للرياضات الإلكترونية تصير تصفيات بآسيا بأوروبا بأمريكا بأفريقيا فريق اللي يفوز يتأهل بس
they can take that player out. They can suddenly take control of that side that Turkey ended up winning the game from. So yeah, a little bit too passive, a little bit too scared. But they'll have plenty of chances to learn from the last 3 games.
قوة هذا سيزون PMGC قوية جدا.
In a few minutes with the next and last Erangel of the day.
غيث ما يلعب اتوقع هو غيث مرة يعني نشر ووضح فد شيء والاتحاد يعني اتوقع اكفت قرار تجاه غيث منهم او لا ما ادري صراحه. بالفتره بذيك الموسم بذيك الفتره لانه هو غيث صار عنده فد اشكاليه مع الاتحاد. هو نشر على الستوري اتصور، بس حاليا اكيد اتوقع يعني انه غيث MVP الدوري العربي، فمكسب لاي منتخب يعني للمنتخب العراقي ومكسب لاي فريق. غيث لاعب كبير هادئ رزن يا اخي، خامه واحده ماكو خامه تشبهها بالمنطقه. غيث خامه ماكو منها يعني بالريجن ما اشوف لاعب واحد ستايل لعب خرافي القطار. لكن هو اكفد ما اكفد شيء معين، شنو هو بالتحديد ما اعرف شو بالتحديد، بس اكو شيء. جعفر افضل اجل صح يا رب رياض. شنو العالمية اللي ما قدم بيها؟ PMGC الفريق وصل مركز خامس اتصور او سادس بمجموعته، والPMW مركز سابع. لا لورد لاعب يختلف عن غيث، ما تقدر تقارن اللاعبين، كل لاعب شكل. لا ما اتوقع يسه نوشة ايجيبت الكاس العالم يعني تقريبا صح. ما متأهل حبيبي. عبود يا عيب. افضل اجل بالرجل العربي من الافضل يعني ماكو افضل حكمي. رؤوف ساتان برستيج يعني بهالفترة الأخيرة كانت هم يعني دي قدم مع كويست. بعد كثير منتخبات شوكيت. هاي بطولة منتخبات زيد. حارث ما له دخل لا من قريب ولا بعيد. VP فامباير أحمد ما منقولة بأي لغة غير الإنجليزية. مارشال كالاجار RPG نوت كالاجار RPG مو اجل. أداء جيد HSISP. لا كان عنوة البث ويبو. منو ويبو اكسوديا صحيح. حامد بالضبط. حارث الشعلي بابا. اويلي 20 دقيقة بريك يا اخوان يا الله. لا اله الا الله يا اخي ليش هيجي؟ هو دا يقول افضل اي جي ال بالمنطقة، ولا انا بالنسبة لي افضل اي جي ال بالعالم اثنين ريبنكلاو وريبو وكاريلو سوري. اتس نورمال افتر 3 جيمز. لا برو نوت نورمال حبيبي. ممكن ليش لا حمودي. اخر صح. ما ادري والله اسال حارث هو اللي يعرف. انا ديسكورد حروث اصلا. اكيد احصائيات حبيبي. تريد اجيب لك اكثر اي جي ال بالعالم جايب كلات هذا الموسم، واكثر اي جي ال داخل زون. شو عاطفه اي عاطفه. انفلونس كيمن وينها جناب؟ جيبوا لي جناب بالله عليكم. تعال اشوفكم. ها
السلام عليكم.
هلا حروثي. تعال شوف
يا الربع.
هلا حروثه مشتاق لك يا اخي زمان ما سامع صوتك.
راحت لك فيديو الله يخليك والله 11 خارج ما حاكين.
اي والله مشتاق لك كثير.
اي والله يا اخي الدقائق اللي بدونك سنين.
ايام تركض بسرعه.
اني افضل لاعب. هلا حارث وعليكم السلام على ماليزيا.
خوان هاي مرحلة تأهيلية من البرازيل. هاي المرحلة التأهيلية من البرازيل. تشوفون لا انا اقول من يدخل زون ومسيطر على لاعبينه ومسيطر على تيمه وقاعد تجيب نتيجه. ريفنك لاو بطل بي ام دبليو اي وكاريلو بطل البرازيل. تعال شوفكم كاريلو كم لقب عنده. ها
ولا ترى الفا 7 احدهم برازيل.
حبيبي شو برازيل ثالث العالم هو شنو؟
ثاني ثالث العالم.
اي يعني انا اقدر اجردك من ثالث العالم اقدر اقول مو انجاز.
لا مو انجاز بس هو اخر فتره ما سوى شيء.
حبيبي بثالث العالم هو قبل كم يوم ثالث العالم قبل 7-8 اشهر. شوف كاريلا شوف رابع البي ام دبليو اي. ها الرابع البي ام دبليو اي
رابع البي ام دبليو اي.
يعني اقدر اقول يعني تلفل اني واني ما جاي. ثالث
لا بس مو يعني انت الفا 7 منطيهم اكثر من حجمهم.
يعني سؤال انت من كنت ثالث العالم رابع بي ام دبليو اي ما كنا نقول رؤوف واحد من افضل اي جي الز بالعالم؟
اكيد
اي على هذا الاساس على هذا الاساس انا سالوني منو اي جي ال قلت الريفن كلاو وكاريلو عدا الصين على اعتبار انه الملا غير متابع للريجن الصيني. حتى ليش اصير هاي الرومر يعني.
مو بس قصد
اي انا مو متابع
بشكل عام بشكل عام. الفا 7 مدقة النجمة.
والله فريق كبير والله فريق
كبير تمام
والله فريق كبير. شوف ايش قد بطولات عنده يا اخي. يا ساتر يا ساتر. بس لون ابيض بس لون ذهبي بس ذهب شوف كاريلو بس ذهب.
يا حبيبي
اكيد سوني خوش هاي اكيد طبعا. سوكي لا واحدة صارت انا اكثر هاي جل. اي والله يجيب كلاته واي فريش لا يشوفها. جنا شو الموضوع مع انفلونس كيمن؟ شو اللي صاير مع انفلونس كيمن جنا؟ احكينا باعتبارك انت متابع لهم. خل اجيب الفحم يا عيال. اجيب الفحم وجهي صح حارث.
يلا انا راح احكي متابعين الشباب ترى الله مرات من الفا 7 الله وكيلك. الفا 7 والفا 7 والفا 7 وما ادري شنو. ليك ما قالك يا عمي. دخل حارث معك ليش فورتين شب يا اخي. ايه والله تجي عجب. فهمت حبيبي محمد اسماعيل. فهمت او ضابط والله ادخلكم فريق والله. أهد عليكم فريق واحده. يا شباب انا جاني الشغل لازم اروح. نلتقي ان شاء الله. باي باي.
الفا 7 افضل من نافي اكيد مليون مره. يعني سؤالك مو منطقي يا حمود اسماعيل حبيبي. هاي امور شخصيه يعني فاهم. هو بكيفه يريد يسوي ولا ما يسوي بكيفه. يعني هذا السؤال انا اعتبره تدخل بهذا الموضوع فاهم. اي احد يعني حمود اسماعيل ولا اي واحد يسأل هذا الموضوع احسه مو حلو. اي شنو انجازات الفريقين؟ طبعا انجازات الفا 7 اكثر من انجازات نافي. يعني عمار اذا انت ما تعرف الموضوع لا تقول لي، لا ترمي علي التهمه انه انا احكي بعاطفي. ها انجازات الفا 7 اكثر من انجازات نافي. انت افضل فريق بعد. والله اتفق وياي خال ها. لا اعرف حبيبي، اعرف قلبي، اعرف حمود اسماعيل، بس مو من حقك تسأل هذا السؤال فاهم. يعني تقول له والله ليش ما هنأت الملا؟ لان الملا تزوج. هو بكيفه فاهمني. فدر الله اكبر من الفا 7 حبيبي روح. ماكو اخبار صالح، ماكو اخبار 2007. لو تارو انت كابوس من لو تارو. عاد ذاك اليوم اسمع اسولفكم سالفه. قاعدين انا وهولندي وعبودي لاعب الجي اس. فانا هيك ممدد ومتغطي ومتامل يعني هيك مسوي. كان هولندي قال لي مبابي ودع جماهير باريس سان جيرمان بالدموع. قلت له هولندي. قال راح يجينا ريال مدريد. قلت له لا جاينا انتر ميلان. قال لي ايش؟ قلت له مكانه وين ترى. هولندي يتعذب. اذا انت تشوف البي ام بي ال والبي ام بي ال القاريه مو انجاز، اذا في كل فرقنا العربيه ما عندها انجازات. اذا انت تشوف انه البي ام بي ال مو انجاز. منو هو؟ عموري خالد قلب. لا مستحيل وليد، مستحيل. ليش يا حمد ايوب؟ عليكم السلام. ينعوف العاطفه. شنو انجازات فدرال مع الانفلونس كيمن؟ فاز بالبي ام بي ال امريكاز السنه اللي فاتت بس. تمام حمودي. يا حبيبي والله انتو يعني بالمينا ما عندنا فرق تنافس. باوروبا ما عندنا فرق تنافس. ما باوروبا ماكو، بتركيا ماكو. ليش نجرد الفريق؟ يعني هسه انا اقول لك اكو فريق كل مره يفوز بدوري ابطال اسيا، يعني من ننطي انجاز. اي واذا على الانجازات فدرال اخر بي ام دبليو اي ما مشارك. اول ستارز للجمهور يعني نقول انه هاي الجمهور وجماهير الفال 7 هواي زين من امريكاز تشامبيونشيب. ليش ما تأهل؟ ليش ما تأهل؟ لو متأهل وبطل الفا 7 رابع البي ام دبليو اي، الفا 7 ثالث العالم البي ام جي سي. انت عندك انت دا تحكي بعاطفه، عفوا انت تتهمني بالعاطفيه، انت عاطفي صح ولا غلط؟ مالي دخل بزمان، انا هم كنت شايل تيمي اسمه سايكلو زمان، مالي دخل بزمان. لا قاعد اضحك هذه. اكثر لاعب عنده انجازات تاريخ اللعبه كاريلو. شو وقت هاي النافي بأسوأ اداء لهم؟ شو وقت؟ ليش اسوء؟ ماكو فريق ياخذ ثالث. لا ما ضوج يا معود الشاقة. ولد داز رساله على الواتساب يقول لي خوض ضوج على موضوع الفا 7 والف. لا اضحك ما ادري والله حساني، والله ما ادري يا حساني جيمي. ملا لو من هو لو يبوي منو لاو تقصد اي جي الله الانفلونس؟ اي اخذوا الثاني. مو ليش مو بأسوأ مستوى لهم، باحسن مستوى لهم للبوي. اي للبوي لعيب والله. لا مو منفوخ، لا شو منفوخ، فريق كبير. ما اعرف والله يا حساني. هو اكو فريق ياخذ ثاني على العالم مستواه سيء؟ شلون؟ شلون انعدام طموح؟ بطولة جائزتها 3 مليون عمار. انا راح اغمض واسد قلبي. فريق دا يلعب على 3 مليون دولار، شنو انعدام الطموح الشغف؟ يعني هسه لو اجيب لاعب من الشات اي اني هسه اخذ اي لاعب اخليه هم على 3 مليون دولار هم يركض الدنيا شلون انعدام؟ شو اي بي ام دبليو اي انا العب على 3 مليون دولار ما عندي طموح. انت تحب عمار، انت مشجع للنافي، انت شبيح للنافي. شنو المشاكل؟ روسيا كلها صار عليها مشاكل، هم يعني متأقلمين مع هذا الموضوع عادي. لا الفا اسوأ فريق ونافي اسوأ فريق، بس مو معناها انت تحب نافي مو معناها انه تحطم الفا، بس هذا اللي. اذا على هالاساس انه لازم ما ادري. يا افضل مره كلمه عراقيه عمار، يعني انت لا تجلب بيها. وهسه يلعبون منظمه ضخمه وكبيره اسمها جي جي. اخوان ترى ما ضج نضحك ويعني احنا نضحك كنا. ولا ايش بيك ضجت؟ دخل لا والله لا ضجت ولا انا بس سؤال شلون احس بالتيم عدلوه يعني؟ ما دا افهم السؤال يا سيد. عام العالم سكري عام انتخاباتك الجزائر انا قاعد ثقة سوشي بالجمسي يس. يعني هسه انا اشكرك عمار يعني انه انا ما فاهم وما بشغل عقلي ها. اشكرك يعطيك العافية. اشكرك. يعطيك الف عافية. انت شرح لنا ليش ما جاي نلعب المره اللي فاتت في صوتك. قلت انه بده يلعب ويا المنتخب. ارتدي انت بافارد اي يا الله بعد يومين بس هي تنتهي. ما اعرف والله يا شهايب ما متابع بي ام بي الله فريقين. لا لا عفوري اضحك والله العظيم. والله اضحك والله. يعني خلوا ببالكم كل المواضيع اللي تصير هي للضحك بس. يلا خلينا نتابع. انا راح ادخن انتم سولفوا شوي. سووا لنا لايكات. شو تريد؟ ما تريد تقول لي ايش تريد من انتر؟ انا واخذتوه بروزوفيتش واخذتوه لو تارو تريدوه باستوري تريدون تاخذوه باريلا تريدوه دي ماركو راح تطلعوه دنفرس ايش تريدون منه؟ عم عوفونا ما عندنا فلوس انتر دخيله الله عوفونا. حبيبي عوفونا وبظل لو تارو ما عندنا غيره. لا ما مشاركة اصلا. لعيبة العراقيين العرب تقصد مكان؟ لا موجودين كثير ليش؟ لا حبيبي ما نريد لاعب من برشلونة. لا لو تارو انا مو تالي صدق. من مهاجم هذا ريال مدريد سمعت جايبين مهاجم من درجة أولى ما أدري من فريق متأخر صار والله كبير لو تارو. خوسيليو هذا منين خوسيليو هذا؟ هاكان شالان اغلو لعوب ومختاريان جيد بس نهاية عمره. قبل 10 سنوات لعبوا ريال مدريد. يا ساتر.
and well, Turkey trying to claw their way back into it, but still an insane performance so far from the roster out of Kyrgyzstan.
It's kind of unbelievable, to be honest, starting off a tournament just like this. We will see whether or not they will have another chicken dinner today. It's been 2 so far, but as you've seen in the last round, for the first time, it's been someone else, and that has been one of the favorites as well. It's been Turkey. They were able to clutch out that last round despite having big trouble inside of that game itself too. Yeah. They did have their problems in the mid-game area. They were kind of for 1 second, we were talking about this at the end of the last game as well. For 1 second, we were both really worried, and that was the fight against Ukraine in Quarry. But they did make the right decisions. They made it off as a 4-man down. They're still picking up some of the kill points in the process as well. And that was kind of the big decision we were talking about that made it happen and kind of gave them the position they had in the end to finish it off as well.
It was their game to win, and they did win it in the end. It wasn't clean, it wasn't beautiful, but they did win it in the end. And I think they've shown a little bit of their experience there. Just being able to maneuver out of a crazy fight. They were fighting around that warehouse, pulling up into each other.
لو تارو نعشق هذا لو تارو يعني ساتان صعب بس صار حبيبي مش انسحب ما تأهل لعب وما تأهل اي قلت لك سؤال سمعت انه جاي من درجة ثانية تيم فلسطين انسحب الله زانت العشق لا زيد لا تدعي على الولد ادريانو بس مو ابن النادي ادريانو زانتي ابن النادي رؤوف ما طلعت له فيزا مصر جيدين وقف النت وقف النت يمهم يمكن صح حتى لو ما عنده انجاز يقدر اذا التيم اقتنع بيه يجيبه يوم صعب بيك يا اخي راح يوقف البث يا الهي ستريم ستوب يمهم بس لا يبي تويتش جودة افضل يلا نروح نشوف تويتش هذا فوق يفوت بوم وين ادز لي اللينك والله اذا عندك رابط تويتش اذا عندك رابط تويتش دز لي اياه بليز فانكي كان عنده ظروف لما كان لعب بالمينا كان عنده ظروف ما تقدر تخليه يلعب واقف البث يا عيال. شباب رؤوف مشارك؟ لا، ولا التيماتكم هو بعدهم يعني يوصلون فيها بي في فرص اكيد اصلا من البي ام اس سي، من البي ام سي او. ما تأهل يا سيرانا. ما في بث. يا حبيبي مش ناقص صوتي بس أنا بافارد إلى انتر ميلان حبيبي. بافارد جابوا بمكانه جابوا كالولو يمكن. حرام والله يا عيال، ما في بث يمكن. راح يدير وجهه ويوقف البث. البث وقف البث، وقف البث، وقف البث. شوف حتى واقف مال اللي على تويتش واقف. والحل ولا داخلين ديسكورد ليش زايد اخي هذا. حبيبي نادي انتر ميلان نادي عريق جدا يا استاذ عمار. ما بطولة 18 جيم والنقاط نفس النقاط متعودين عليها. ما يلعبون لا عمر نزار. ادري بيك عبارة. يا عيال نسد اللايف شنو ماكو لايف الظاهر مال ماكو لايف مال ببجي. ما في يا عيال ما في يا عيال. اذا احبتي يعطيكم الف عافية ويعطيكم الف عافية. ما ادري والله مش لايفي مسدود لايف ببجي مسدود. مش من يمي حبيبي مش من يمي والله الناس كلها تقول باد لايف لايف ستوب باد لايف يعني مش يمي هاي الناس كلها واقفة عندها وهنايا ماكو. هذا رابط البث مالتهم. انا راح اروح اغسل اودي الاكل ما شنو ارجع ما رجع نسد الله. طيب حبايب حياكم الله. البث واقف من يومهم المشكلة مو من عندي، انه هسه مثلا نروح نشوف لايف دوتا شغال والامور طيبة. مينامار والاردن، الاردن فايزة. بابجي نروح على لايف بابجي بث واقف. فنعطيكم الف عافية. هذا الانتر شنو هذا الرابط اللي يريد يتابع هناك. يعطيكم الف عافية ونشوفكم على خير. اعذرونا على التقصير لكن هم من يومهم المشكلة. اسف جدا حبايب. في امان الله. توصونا بشيء، تأمرونا بشيء، توصونا بشيء، تأمرونا بشيء. نشوفكم على خير. في امان الله. اغاتي.